Hello and welcome. You are participating today in one of as many as 500 gatherings like this, the end result of which will be that every state employee will have a chance to share our vision and to talk and listen and think and plan about our shared values. I really do wish I could be there in person with you today, but as you can imagine, I can't be in all 500 meetings, so I'm happy that at least this video format gives me the chance to offer you some of my thoughts and perspectives. Believe me when I say I wish I could make all of the meetings, to hear your thoughts and to see your reactions and to learn from your experience. But this is one, albeit imperfect, way to have you at least hear directly from me, even if I can't hear directly from each of you at this point. So, first, let me thank you for the time that you are taking away from your offices and your fields of work to take part in what I feel is such an important dialogue. Each one of you matters to this work. I want to take a few moments at the outset to explain just why I think this effort is so incredibly important, so vital, that I have drawn you, and some of you, like our department directors, I have drawn repeatedly from your normal daily work. There are 4 points that I want to explain why we are here. First, I want, and I deeply believe that you want, Michigan to be a tremendous state. And I think that you will agree that no group of people has more power to make that happen than we do. Second, I want the state of Michigan to be a great place to work. Third, to reach both of those goals, I want Michigan to be a tremendous state and a government that's a great place to work. I think that we must together create a culture, a way of doing things around here that is based on shared values, values that we hold deeply and values that we hold ourselves to. And so fourth, in order to get there, I believe that I have to involve you. We cannot have shared values if I tell you what they are. If I send you an email that says, here's your values, you have to have a chance to hear them, to hear how we selected them, to think about how they relate to your own personal values, to talk about how well you are already living them out in your shop, and to invite you to see how we can become one really great, proud, focused culture together, supporting each other in our values and in our work. And so that's why you're here. Now, the writer Samuel Butler once said that every person's work, whether it be literature or music or pictures or architecture or anything else, one's work is always a portrait of him or herself. So, the discussion that we're having across state government about vision and values is really about the portrait that we want to paint of ourselves. I want every one of us to be able to paint proudly, to love our work. And I want you to have a deep sense that we are together the painters of a spectacular mural for our citizens and for those who visit our state. So let me talk about what it is that I hope we are painting together. Let me share with you the vision that really drives me out of bed every morning and keeps me focused when there is so much to do. It is a vision that I think makes the frustrations of my day acceptable, even trivial perhaps. And it's included in your packet so you can see it and digest it. My vision is a Michigan whose quality of life is unparalleled, whose natural resources are accessible and treasured, whose cities and communities are a magnet for new economic and cultural life, whose citizens are involved in every aspect of building this great state, where public service and service to others are exalted, and where we are committed to a bright future for every child and every family. I know that Michigan can be, bar none, the best state in the country in which to live and to work and to raise a family. I see a quality of life here that is as spectacular as our amazing peninsulas. I see our history and heritage of hard work and innovation in the last century as the tools that we use to create jobs in this century. I see Californians and New Yorkers and Chicagoans pining with mitten envy over our cool cities and our Great Lakes. And in charting this course, I also see an amazing and dedicated team of public servants with whom this journey must start. You, my colleagues, are where the rubber meets the road. You are the ones who help our children in need, who protect our families and consumers and our seniors. You are the ones who make our roads safe. You are the ones who make our parks clean or our mentally ill alive. And many of you do these things indirectly as well, but no less importantly, by supporting your coworkers through the vital systems that protect and support our community of state workers, by answering phones or making efficient purchases or hiring wisely or in 1,000 other ways. 55,000 public servants, all doing their own job well, can change the world. And I believe that to achieve our vision, we must together create a really powerful work culture, one in which we agree on how we will treat each other and how we will do our work, and one in which we walk the talk and where values are at the heart of it all. So let me tell you how we got to this day. When I told the people of Michigan that I wanted this job as governor, I literally spoke to millions of citizens, and I told them my values: excellence, creativity, engagement, inclusion, and integrity. Those were my 5. And when I assembled my cabinet, I shared these values with them, and I asked the cabinet to work with me to tell me which of those values that we shared together and which were vital to creating the great workplace that we want. And as I've indicated in emails to you, they deeply shared the core values of integrity, excellence, and inclusion. And in fact, have in many cases already started the process of incorporating these values in a formal way in all of your, in not all, but most of your departments. And we're going to take it the next step. And I was thrilled that they chose these 3 values. Your leadership is in lockstep that excellence should be our way in everything. We are in lockstep that integrity, being people who say what they're going to do and then do it, is essential to the workplace that we want to develop. And we are of a single mind that inclusion was important to us. We wanted to respect our diversity and as much as possible bring everyone to the table who is affected by our decisions. As a group, we could not see running this government without those values. We agreed on this core: excellence, integrity, inclusion. And we felt that inclusion, and for that matter, excellence and integrity, required that we bring you into the process too, all of you. So I shared these 3 values in an email to you. I asked you to help us to develop very clear behaviors around those values. And then I asked if we were missing a value that you felt was vital to making this a great place to work. Over 12,000 of you answered that invitation, and we read every single response. And teams in your department went through your suggested 4th value, and they read through the 38,000 ways that you described behaviors you felt were important to make the values real. You know, values are not just something that's out there in the air. They're not important just to say we've got good values. It's important because it translates into behaviors. For example, when I say that I value integrity, what are the behaviors that I want to demonstrate that are consistent with that value? When I promise to improve the health of our children, we didn't just use it as an expression. We're implementing behaviors, a plan developed by a number of different departments to eradicate lead poisoning in our children. Behaviors that correspond with a value of integrity, to do what we say we will do. That is an indication of integrity. So today, we're going to share the data that defines our core values with you, so you can see what we look like as a whole and what your department looks like. And you will hear what additional value or values that we heard you say was vital. We'll also give you an opportunity today to participate in an exercise that I asked all of our leaders to participate in, which is this: to re-examine your own personal values. What is it that's really important to you as a person when you get right down to it? We hope that your answer to that question about what's important to you links up with our shared values. Because if your values don't link up at all, perhaps this is not a good place for you to be. But hopefully, you will see that the opportunity to live your personal values, to paint your canvas, if you will, and to paint it with excellence, to paint it with integrity, and to paint it inclusively, links up with the state's values. So let me leave you with a promise and a challenge. I promise you, this is not a fad. This is not a flavor of the month. This is not a flash in the pan, but this is just a beginning. We're going to keep talking, we're going to keep learning, and we're going to keep acting around these values. I have done the work that you will do today. I personally have, and I'm carrying around a card exactly like the one that you'll fill out today that reminds me of the behaviors that I need to pay attention to so that I can best reflect our shared values. I need to be reminded too. And I'll expect no less commitment from the cabinet officials, the leaders of the state, to this vital process. The work of supervisors and managers and leaders will be developed around the values that we collectively decide on and the behaviors that we collectively agree upon. And everybody will be held accountable for them. And when we stick to this work, I think people will be banging on the doors to work for the great state of Michigan. My challenge is that you have the courage to see everything that your work can be, and that every one of you show the courage to make it happen. For many of you, I know that these are tough times to be a state employee. I really know that. I feel it. I know, believe me, about the budget cuts and hiring freezes and purchasing freezes and increased workloads and staffing that is stretched. And I know that you could choose to react to that reality in one of two ways. You could choose to see it simply as an insurmountable obstacle, or my challenge and my hope is that you will accept this invitation as a public servant to become empowered to become the change that you want to see in this workplace. That you work with me and with each other to paint a self-portrait and a portrait of this state that will make you proud. That you take this opportunity to examine your own values and to live in them. That you pursue excellence so you can revel in it, so you can bless our citizens and our children and our children's children with great work. That you really seek to include, to find win-wins, that you not let division get in the way, and that you do all things in integrity, enjoying the supreme gift of a clear conscience and the pride of doing what you say you will. So may you use today to grow in that ethic of service and of pride. Thank you so much for your participation today. And paint well, my colleagues. Paint well.